Welcome everyone, today I want to look at some tips and tricks for Overwatch. I'm aiming at some non-obvious stuff too, there's no sort of aim at the bad guy tips. So although I'll be pointing out some stuff that maybe seasoned beta players will already understand, I'm hoping that everyone learns something that they find useful. So anyhow, on with the show. Being able to respond or deploy abilities quickly can be a key tool in Overwatch. So although the subject of keybinds might feel like a little bit of a dry topic, it can actually be worth your time getting a setup that suits you and delivers you an edge over your opponents. One tip I'd say is to check out the controls part of the options menu. In addition to the normal settings, there are hero-specific options and binds that can be set up. Initially, I'd look at heroes that don't already have an alternate fire option, so for example D.Va, Bastion, and so on, and bind one of their other abilities to mouse 2. So for D.Va, her shield is often used in high stress situations, so consider binding that to mouse 2. This means that you can activate it quickly, it also crucially means that you can maintain your movement at all times. For Bastion, quickly jumping into turret mode, getting a few kills and keeping mobile is a good tactic as well, so Bastion has no alt fire either. I'd try binding that to mouse 2 as well and see if it suits you. This idea is good for a number of heroes. I'm not going to list them all, you'll be glad to know. But once you see gaps in mouse button usage for specific heroes, then it's worth your time considering what abilities you'd like to see quick to hand. As we're in the settings menu, there are a few nuggets in here that many players, even seasoned beta fighters, don't know about or really consider. So for a start, that per hero menu at the top will, depending on who's selected, open up a hero section in the main menu. These are often switches for normal hero abilities that can markedly change how they are deployed in game. So going through the menu, neither Bastion or D.Va have the hero settings section. But when we get to Genji, you'll see an option for automatically climb walls. So anytime you walk up to a wall, he'll scale it without being prompted to do so. Nothing game-changing, but maybe hardened Genji mains will find it of use. Other heroes get more interesting options though. If we look at Lucio, he has an option for hold to crossfade. This in effect means his ability is in healing mode unless you hold the fade key. And as we all know, normally the crossfade option worked like a toggle. In practice I found it slightly slow to react and auto-switch back to healing mode. It's also worth pointing out that this was in the last beta though, so its implementation might have changed for full release. It's something I'll be trialling again though, and I'd suggest you give it a run too. Mercy has a couple of interesting options too. Toggle beam connection means you don't need to keep your mouse button welded down to maintain the healing or damage stream. To be honest, I don't see this being a massive issue, after all you tend to swap between the two beam modes as situation dictates, but I can imagine players who might find this option useful. The other setting is actually a bit more intriguing. It's labelled Guardian Angel prefers beam target. This means that the direction that Mercy is aiming no longer completely dictates the direction she will rush in when she's using the Guardian Angel ability. It's actually very useful when teaming with Pharah. It means that you can keep your awareness of your surroundings, potential dangers, but you know that as long as you have your beam connected with Pharah, your Guardian Angel will pull you towards your partner regardless of your orientation. As someone who plays Mercy a fair bit, I actually like this one a lot. Reinhardt has a simple toggle barrier option for players worried about the lifespan of their mouse 2 button. Both Soldier 76 and Zarya have options to enable allied health bars. This, rather unsurprisingly, shows the health of allied players at the expense of a bit more screen clutter. Why these two? Well, they both have options to mitigate damage or heal other teammates. Soldier with his healing station deployable thingy, and Zarya with her projected shields. Widowmaker has perhaps the most powerful and probably most requested option. Her toggle zoom option is obvious enough, but she also has a relative aim sensitivity while zoomed option that sniper fans should definitely take a look at. I know many seasoned FPS players who initially found sniping in Overwatch to feel strange somehow and wanted to tailor how it felt. Well, Blizz has included this option here. It's tucked away in a few menus down, but it's there now. So let's have a few quick bullet point public service announcement style tips for new players. Firstly, if you're feeling frustrated playing against a hero, then changing your hero is often the only counter. Look, you may love Junkrat. You might spam Bastions all day, that's your bread and butter. But if you're getting constantly wrecked by Pharah, then apart from hoping for some crazy good grenade RNG, you're probably going to have a bad time. So-called hit-scan classes, the name basically due to them not having projectiles, their shots land instantly, such as Soldier 76 and McCree, are the best counter to that airborne menace. You may like to main a certain hero, but learning when not to play them is a key skill in Overwatch. Okay, quickly another one. Reinhardt Shield. Teammates can shoot through it with impunity. It doesn't damage the shield or lessen the power of your shots. Keep an eye out for Symmetra's orbs though. A lot of people don't seem to know that they pass through Reinhardt's shield, doing damage to anyone on the other side. Similarly, if you are Symmetra, then spamming a line of those orbs can be a great disincentive to enemies thinking of using that shield to slow push and fire through. It's a unique ability to Symmetra, and one you should be getting the maximum use of. Don't rely on your turrets to do all the hard work. Right, Zarya's bubble shields, the bubbles that she puts around herself and another of her teammates, do not shoot them unless you can also kill her in the process. Otherwise you feed her gun strength. They are the only shields in the game that feed their owner in power terms like that. On escort maps, attackers are healed by the payload cart. Yes, that's right. So if you're low down on health, then pushing the objective will actually help you out as well. It's not enough healing to do without teammates running dedicated support classes, but it's useful options for attackers to keep in mind. Finally, let's all try and aim for headshots. There's even a unique hit sound for them. So if you're McCree left clicking from a distance, if you're Soldier mowing down bad guys, or even if you're just Lucio spamming corners to keep enemies in check, keep those shots at head level. The extra damage is incredibly worth the effort. Thank you so much for watching this video. I was really appreciative of how people were about my last video about Mercy. I know some of you disagreed or argued or agreed with points. I appreciate it all. You folks were excellent. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this video, why not leave some feedback? Maybe even consider hitting that subscribe button. It's free and it helps me out a bunch. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter, I'm at LCTRGames. There's a link in the description below. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.